All right, welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something really foundational. It's a look at pedagogical theory for anyone who's trying to understand why a strong classroom community is, well, why it's everything.
It really is.
And we're going to jump right to the core of it, student disruption.
And this is where the research gets super interesting because when we see those behavioral issues, kids acting out, forming cliques,
That kind of thing.
yeah, or what the sources call poor well-being, it's almost never just about a kid being bad.
So it's something deeper. What's the real driver then? Is it just insecurity?
It is insecurity, but a really specific kind.
Yeah.
The research identifies it as social exclusion anxiety.
Okay, so a fear of being left out, of being excluded.
Exactly. And when that fear kicks in, a student's energy, it just gets diverted. It moves away from learning and straight into self-preservation.
That makes a ton of sense. If you think you're going to be pushed out, you might just start pushing other people first to protect yourself.
You got it. And the sources have this really striking term for that. They call it contempt production.
Contempt production.
Yeah, it's that act of putting others down to make yourself feel safer, which of course just poisons the entire environment.
So it's a vicious cycle.
It is. And the whole theory here is based on this idea that the individual and the community, you can't separate them. They depend on each other.
Okay, so if social anxiety is the problem, what's the intervention? What can a teacher actually do about it?
The solution they propose is something called community-building didactics. And this isn't about, icebreakers or trust falls.
Right, it's not a separate activity.
No, it's about designing the learning itself so that it creates something to be common about.
Yeah.
You weave the social fabric of the class through the academic work.
And this is where it gets really practical and I think really brilliant. The way teachers do this is by turning the academic content, the math, the history, into what the research calls the common third.
That's the mechanism, the
Yep.
common third. So instead of the focus being teacher on student, the actual subject matter becomes this central object.
The third thing in the room.
The third thing in the room that the entire class has to engage with together. So suddenly, the academic task and the social skills, they become prerequisites for each other.
So the history lesson is no longer just something you do alone. It's the reason the group exists in that moment. And the sources give us two really powerful ways to do this, right? To create what they call dignity production.
Yep, two big methods. The first one is cooperative learning.
Cooperative.
And you can think of this one as being about the division of labor.
Oh, okay. So like a group project where one person is the writer, one's the artist, another does the research.
Precisely. Each student has a unique piece of the puzzle based on what they know or can do. The project literally cannot be completed unless everyone contributes their part.
So your differences become a resource, not a liability. It makes everyone genuinely valued. I love that.
It's incredibly powerful.
Okay, so what's the second approach?
The second one is collaborative learning, and it's different. This is less about dividing up tasks and more about the joint construction of knowledge.
They're more like a group brainstorm.
A brainstorm is a perfect example. Or a group trying to figure out a tough concept like photosynthesis. Everyone's building on each other's ideas in real time.
And the final idea is something that no single person could have come up with on their own.
Exactly. The group achieves more than the sum of its parts.
So it really sounds like the teacher's role becomes less about just delivering information and more about being an architect, a designer of these learning situations.
A strategic designer, absolutely. They're constantly paying attention, adjusting the activities to make sure every student has a critical role. That's how you build dignity and fight that exclusion anxiety.
So for you listening, the big takeaway here is that when students are engaged in these processes, these cooperative or collaborative tasks,
Well,
their mutual dependence becomes the whole point.
it becomes the work.